Hi, this is Paula. I wanted to give you a quick start demo for how to get into the eCodebook in 3M. And so the first thing you want to do is choose Microsoft Edge or Chrome for your browser. Now Chrome is just newly supported, so if you have Microsoft Edge, I would advise you to go there. And we're going to type in the URL harper3m.harpercollege.edu. When you hit that, you may get this pop-up that asks for your username and password. If you don't get a pop-up asking for username and password, you may need to allow pop-ups. The username is Harper, H-I-T, and the password is in Blackboard. You enter that, and it is cap sensitive. And then you say sign in. You're going to get this entry screen here, but you can bypass this because you just want to use the electronic codebook. So look for this icon here. Make sure you're choosing the red book with the 10 on it so you don't get the old ICD-9 version. The icon with the 10 on the red book is really referred to as the ICD-10 CM-PCS Integrated Codebook, and that's what you want. So go ahead and click there. And then this will come up, and you can resize it so it's easier for you to view. What you have here is you're going to notice that this tab here, Diagnoses, is highlighted. So this is your alpha index in ICD-10 CM. It is set up the exact same way that you would find in the print book, but instead of looking it up manually, you can type in your main term and subterms and go straight to the entry. On the right side of the screen is the tabular, and everything content-wise is the same. It might have slightly different colors in the 3M version than what you see in your codebook, but it's the content is identical. So let's say we wanted to look up diabetes type 2. Just like you would in your print copy, you would look for the main term diabetes. So I'm going to type it in here. And notice as I type, I get this light green bar behind the word. That's good. If it turns pink, it means that I've mistyped or I don't have the correct entry. So I'm going to put a comma, and then I'm going to enter my subterm, and I'm going to say type 2. All right, so it's still green. Everything's good. Let's say I wanted to say type 2 with ketoacidosis. So I make a comma, and I type in with, because that's the next level of indentation, and then another comma, and then ketoacidosis. Now when you've typed enough of the word that it recognizes it, it will highlight it here for you. So in this case, it's telling us that E11.10 is the proper code to look up in the tabular. So to do that, all you have to do is click on it, and it'll take you over here to E11.10 and highlight it here. So now we're looking at the tabular entry, type 2 diabetes mellitus with ketoacidosis without coma. You can tell that this particular code is a complete code because in 3M, if the code is a complete code, it's in blue. If it's in red, it means it needs additional characters. And for example, here at E11.2, that tiny little plus sign right there is another indication that you're going to need another character, at least one. When you click on it, it tells you what your choices are underneath E11.2. So in this case, you need a fifth character of a 1, a 2, or a 9 to make it a complete code. All right, so we've found E11.10, and if you want to go up to see what the category notes are, you can either scroll just like this, and you'll see E11 begins here, the category, and then here are all your important includes, use additional, and excludes one notes. So always remember to scroll up a little bit or use these arrows to go up or down, in this case up, to see what the category level entry is in your tabular. If I were to hit this again, it's going to take me to the previous category, E10, And if I hit the up arrow again, E09, if I wanted to go to the beginning of the chapter and see the notes, I just click here. So for Chapter 4, Endocrine, which is all the E codes between E00 and E89, these are the notes at the chapter level. So because they're at the chapter level, you know that they apply to all the codes in this chapter. All right, so that's how you move from the index to the tabular and how you use your up and down arrows. Let's try another one. Let's say we wanted to code headache. So I'm going to type in headache, and notice I misspelled it. I put headacher, and so that's why this bar turned pink. So I'm going to just backspace there. Come back to headache, and the default code you see here is R51.9. You can click right on it. It takes you to the tabular, R51.9. It tells you the code title is headache unspecified. You can see it's in blue, so it's a complete code. And here's your category, R51, with some excludes 2 notes. So that's basically how you get from the index to the tabular. Let's look around at some of the other entries that you're going to be using. If you want to look something up in the table of drugs and chemicals, you need to switch to this tab and just click on that, and you'll see the same information that's in your print books, except this is top and bottom what you would see this part normally in your table of drugs and chemicals, and this part is your tabular. So let's say that I had a poisoning due to the drug Inderal. So I put in my main term here for the name of the drug, and then I come over here and I see my 6 columns, just like you would see in your table of drugs and chemicals. If I'm saying that it's an accidental unintentional poisoning, I'm going to select T44-7X1, and I'm going to click that. And then notice that comes up down here because this is the tabular entry. So T44-7X1 is in red, so that's an indication that you need an additional character. So here I can just click on it, and it tells me in this box, which you can scroll through, all the valid values that the 7th character can hold for a T44.7X1 code. In this case, it looks like I can choose an A, a D, or an S. And that's it. That's how you use the table of drugs and chemicals. The external cause index has a separate tab, and just like you would expect to find in your print code books, here's the index, and on this side is the tabular. So if we wanted to code dog bite, we would put in the main term bite, and then comma, dog, and we would get W540. Click on that, and it brings it up over here and highlights it, bitten by dog. But we see right away we can't use that. It's not a complete code. So we click on it, and it tells us what our 7th characters are, and it even shows us how many placeholders we need. So that's how you use the external cause index. There's another tab here for the neoplasm table, and this works similar to the drug table. You use this index right here to put in your term. So let's say it was cancer of the colon, and so this is good. We have a C also, neoplasm intestine large, unless it's colon with rectal cancer. So let's say we wanted neoplasm intestine large. So we just click on that, and here we go. We can stick with large if that's all we know, or we can select one of the subterms if it matches our documentation. Let's say that it was the ascending colon. So we would go here under ascending, and we would look across, and if it was a primary malignancy, we would choose C18.2. Click on that, and it brings up the entry right here in the tabular. That's a complete code, so we can select that. If you wanted to see the section notes, click on that. If you wanted to see the chapter level notes, click on that. For ICD-10 PCS, you click on this Procedures tab, and you would use this index the same as you would use your PCS index. Let's say we wanted to do a resection of the kidney. So we put in resection, comma, kidney, and then it's asking us to choose left or right. So we come over here and let's say we're selecting right. So we click on that. The table will come up right here, and the software will fill in everything except the decision points that you have to make. So in this case, we know it's 0TT0, kidney right, and we just have to select the approach because the device and qualifier, there's only one option, so the software put it in for us. So let's say it was an open nephrectomy, we would select that, and then this is our complete code. If you're going to do another code after that, you can just say clear all, and then go back to your index and start again. So let's say we wanted to do excision, and see I misspelled it again, so it turned pink. So I back up, do a better job of spelling, and then let's say it was a partial mastectomy, so we're going to say excision and breast. And then you have to choose which laterality. I'm going to say left this time. So we come to the table 0HB, the body part is breast left, and we still need to fill in the approach and the qualifier. So let's say that this was a percutaneous excision, and it was for biopsy. So on the qualifier, that means we'll select an X. So our full code is 0HB U3ZX. That's it for the main tabs you'll use, except the Help tab. And the Help tab is very good because it'll tell you where to find your CM guidelines, where to find the PCS guidelines and the PCS manual, where to find the PCS body part key, all of the definitions for your root operations and approaches, and then some more tables for the device keys and substance keys. The guidelines are really easy to use. They just come up as a PDF, and the really nice thing is you can search them. So if you do on your keyboard a Control F, and let's say we wanted to look up sepsis, you just hit that, and it will, there you go, it'll show you all the times where sepsis is found in the guidelines. And then you just keep going and you look up what it is you want to see. So that's a really nice feature of being able to get to the guidelines. If you come back to this screen, all you have to do is refresh here and then go back into the book like we did when we first came in. So let's see, I think that's it. We looked at the diagnoses, the drugs, the external cause, neoplasms, procedures, and then the Help tab, which gives you all of your guidelines. I think that's it to get you started. Be sure that you keep your book skills up to speed as well, because you're going to like using 3M quite a bit, but we want to make sure that you don't lose your book skills. So good luck. Let me know if you need any assistance, and I'll see you in the next video.